Greetings and welcome. This is Esports Machina and a bit of a different video this time. So recently and in the past, I've seen a bunch of people in Reddit especially make these comments that yes, esports should be included in the Olympics. And you also have some prominent figures on esports and esports organizations also pushing for inclusion in the Olympics. And perhaps they may have some monetary angles there. We don't really know what is the motives. But I'm going to tell you in this video why I think, in my opinion, it's a really, really bad idea. So let's start with the people who are running the Olympics, the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, who chooses the host cities and sets the rules for competing. And recently there has been some tarnishment on their reputation because there has been scandals over corruption and bribery regarding the selection of the host cities. So people have kind of lost their faith on them, and it's not really like a great organization if you're, subject into bribery and corruption. But it doesn't end there. And it seems every time that these Olympic spots with the hotels and the areas and the parks and the stadiums are built, they're never built on empty space. They're usually built on top of some of the parts in the city. And more recently, in the summer 2016 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, 60,000 people from the year 2009 to 2013 lost their homes so that these places could be built for, I don't know, is it like a 3-week event, 2-week event? And it's a pretty huge cost. I mean, I think it costed over 1 billion to even host that event. And Brazil is in bad economic status, and some of these people didn't even get proper compensation for losing their homes. And these were targeted in the favelas. If you don't know what favelas are, essentially where the poor people live. And it was intentionally targeted against the poor people in that country. And essentially 800 families were ordered to essentially leave from these places because they wanted to build on top of them. And now that place, only 6 months later, is a total ghost town. There's no application. There's not even electricity on these stadiums anymore because nobody's paying the electricity bill. These are just empty waste places. And there's many of these throughout the years. And in 2012 Olympics in London, 450 people lost their homes. In 2008 Beijing Olympics, 6,037 people were displaced. And in that also, in the context, some of them were not compensated. In 2014 Winter Sochi Olympics, not that many people, maybe, I couldn't find the real numbers, but I would assume somewhere around 50 people lost their homes, but these people were not compensated at all. They didn't get any money whatsoever from the Russian government. And it is a really, really a low organization. I have a very, very low opinion of IOC, and people who participate even on these events, when they know that a lot of people lost their homes, so you could have 3 weeks of entertainment. I think I could compare the current Olympics to the ancient Colosseum, where fucking animals and humans were essentially killed in entertainment of the plebs, entertainment of the audience, which is fucking ridiculous. This is essentially the same, that bunch of people have to lose their homes, lose their jobs. Some people even lost their lives because of it, because they went bankrupt, and some person in fucking Rio de Janeiro couldn't afford the surgery because all the money went to the new apartment. And she essentially, I don't know if she had died, but there was a chance that she would. But essentially, if you there should, I have this ethical code that everything that I do, where I make my money, I make sure that no other people get fucked over so I can be successful in life. That is one of the most important principles that I have, and I hope many people as possible would adapt that everybody in this world, is possible to achieve a success without fucking over other people. And this goes back to my point that I don't really the way I view as gamers, at least in the past, that I thought they are good people, sincere people, and not really fake people. We were always honest about our passion to gaming, and there was a lot of social stigma around gaming, and still is. It's never really the cool thing. Esports is obviously a bit cooler, but I just don't see like how possibly you could convert a lot of that old Olympic audience to actually into esports. I think people, especially when like League of Legends and Dota and everything was shown on ESPN, you had a bunch of fucking ignorant tweets regarding like, what is this shit? This is not sports. And those are the comments that you will get when you run it on Olympics as well. And I don't want the esports to be affiliated and filled with bad people, and IOC and the people who run the Olympics are bad people. They're corrupted people, bad people, and there's some of them already in esports, maybe through coming through the venture capital or the people who run Azubu and the center. These are bad people. These are bad people. We don't want bad people in our industry. And what I suggest, instead of joining into Olympics, which we totally don't fucking need. We don't need dinosaur media. We don't need TV. We are self-sustainable already, I guess. And the thing is, what we need is something like WCG or ISCF, but a bit of more coalition where there's more. I don't want to like pitch this sort of a globalist idea, but there is perhaps a bit more interaction between the big companies like Riot, Valve, Hi-Rez, and other publishers, and like ESL, and these maybe coming together to host a one event, which would be essentially the Olympics of esports. Some WCG, I mean, they had their bumps on the road, so has ISCF, but they got the main idea kind of like working still, but essentially just needs to be taken on the next level and done better. I just don't think the Olympics is really the solution. And at least for me, I think I'm already a bit skeptical about the whole venture capital money and who are coming in right now. And endemic esports organizations are currently being pushed away, which I don't like at all, because they were there to build the industry. But just to kind of summarize the video, I'm not going to make this long. Olympics is not a really like... the IOC is not a great organization, and these things that I cited to you earlier, the ghost towns and everything, these were just top of the cream. You can find a bunch of other stuff from the past, from older events that they hosted where people lost their homes, and it was really like a financial like negative for a bunch of the countries that were hosting it, and just many negatives for kind of like a small gain, to be honest. I think Olympics is kind of important event, but it shouldn't be done. It should be done more sustainable manner. And thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, maybe you want to check out other stuff or subscribe. Thanks. I'll see you soon.